As a collector of physical media to any degree, you know you've ended up with a few movies that you wish you didn't own. Today, I want to go over a few that I've found on my shelves that fall into that category. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Nick here from the Lost River Drive-In, and today I want to go over a few movies that are the worst that I own. Now, I have more, I'm sure. I was just perusing the shelves, I grabbed a few, and I was like, you know what, this will suffice. Maybe if you guys like this, I'll do another installment of it. Maybe if you don't, I won't. So, starting off this list, and I just have to say, some of these were blind buys, some of them were gifted to me. There's always a reason behind owning these movies. And the first one is a movie called Deliver Us from Evil. Now, I didn't know anything about this movie. Nothing at all. I was at Walmart years ago. It was like $5. And I was like, oh, you know, Deliver Us from Evil. Is it like a demonic possession movie? Those movies normally work well on me. Growing up in a religious household, those movies always scared me when I was a kid and I was a teenager. Like, if you wanted to get under my skin, do something with demons. So I thought this would be right up my alley. Went home and watched it. Couldn't tell you a thing about it. I watched it that one time. It was a complete blind buy that I hadn't even heard anything about. And my God, did I regret it. Because I do remember it is insanely boring. Now, it was directed by Scott Derrickson, who has kind of a spotty track record for me. And honestly, we're going to talk about another movie, not one that he did, but a franchise that he was a part of, later in this video. Look, if you're asking for me to tell you guys whether or not you should see this movie, what's good about it, what's not good about it, I genuinely, in good conscience, can't sit here and tell you because I don't remember. But I can tell you I don't recommend it because I remember it being pretty terrible. Next up is a low-budget movie called Jack-O-Lantern. Now, let me just say, I've talked about this on my channel before, like in live streams and in passing on the podcast. I've mentioned this piece of shit movie that I own, that I bought at Walmart years and years ago for $5, and I couldn't find it for the life of me. I found it. I found it tonight. It was covered in dust. I don't know why I still own it. I think I just own it just to, like, I don't know, transport me back to like a place and a time. Look, this is a 2004 movie. It's a low budget movie, and it was in the $5 bin at Walmart. I bought this in the mid-2000s because it was really when my kick started with collecting the Halloween franchise. So I thought, oh, that art looks kind of cool, and it's probably Halloween related. Let's give it a whirl. This movie is dog shit. Like, it is trash. And far be it from me to ever dog on somebody for not really having a budget and just kind of doing the best they can with what they have to work with. Like, good for you, but that's not even really just the problem. Although, yes, it's low budget, it looks terrible, it's acted terribly, it's shot terribly, but it's also just boring. It's not interesting at all. It is not coherent. It doesn't make any sense. Look, you can have a shoestring budget, but have some like ambition and really try to make something worthwhile. This is not that. And I vividly remember I gave this movie 2 tries. I watched it once myself and I hated it, and then I watched it with my buddy Dave and I was like, well, maybe I'm being too harsh on it. No, it is really that bad. I honestly want to know if any of you have seen this. Has anybody watching this video seen this piece of crap? If so, let me know down below. Next up is going to be the 2013 cash grab, Fright Night 2, New Blood. Still packaged, by the way, because I watched it, I owned it on DVD, and then I got this as a gift, I think, one year for Christmas. I can't even remember, and I was like, oh, yay. I love this movie. This movie sucks, but look, long story short, the remake was successful, and it was actually pretty well reviewed. I think even a lot of like hardcore fans of the original Fright Night were like, you know what, the remake was fine. So it seemed natural that a sequel was going to happen, right? Sure, right? Okay, let's get a sequel. Let's make a straight-to-DVD remake. Gender swapped. So now Jerry Dandridge is a female. They're in Europe, and it's essentially just a remake with Charlie and Ed and Amy. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you. That's what this is. This movie's bad. Like, bad on all levels. There's some cool, like, moments with Jerry Dandridge in this movie. Like, she's hot and, you know, she's effective enough in what she's asked to do. But the movie is incredibly boring. It is a just lesser version of the remake and of the original film in every sense of the word. I don't think I'll ever open this Blu-ray. I accepted the gift because it was a gift, and I'm not going to be a dick and be like, no. But this movie is bad. Next up is going to be the only movie in this series that I genuinely hate, and it's for 2 reasons. The Final Destination in 3D. Look, this was also gifted to me by a subscriber. This is not at all a movie I would have gone out on my own and purchased. I hate this movie. Look, Final Destination is a franchise that's always been really interesting. They're always creating these really inventive ways for people to die. It's always like this chain reaction domino effect that is super interesting. I've always really been interested in that. Does that say anything about me? I don't know. Whatever. But this movie, not only is it so like stupid, so many of the deaths just make no sense. With the fact that it's 3D, the gimmicks look terrible. Like, the effects are just bad. It's poorly paced. It is just, it's not even that it's fast moving. It's just like, there's so much not here, and they were just trying to pump out a sequel, that it's a really short movie with really bad effects, really bad acting, and when it was over and done with, I wanted to be done with this franchise. Now, lucky the next movie actually kind of redeemed this series for me and was actually solid, but this movie is the pits. I also hate this movie because it opened the same weekend as Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and it took the crown that weekend for #1 at the box office. And I will never forgive this piece of shit for doing that, because a movie that I love came out the same day. It is far better, and it got buried in this 3D pile of dog doo. Now, some of you guys are going to laugh at this next one because I own the Steelbook. That's right, Annabelle. The first Annabelle. Look, I have gone on record as saying that I think this movie is genuinely terrible. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I think it is a bad movie. Having said that, the opening is interesting. It was very intriguing. I was in. The first 10 minutes, I was in. After that, this movie falls off a freaking cliff. Nosedives. No parachute, nothing. Just dead. Look, you guys know that I'm a fan of the Conjuring universe, mainly the mainline Conjuring films, but a couple of the spinoffs I actually do rather enjoy. This is not one of them. I mean, from the first time I saw this movie, I was completely out on this movie. It is so uninspired. It is so boilerplate, demonic possession movie. Oh, look at this spooky demon with horns crawling up the stairs. Nothing about this movie works. Aside from the opening, the rest of this movie is piss poor. I cannot stand this movie. I cannot stand that it is in the Conjuring universe, and yet here I am owning the Steelbook. Why? Because I think it was like $10. It looked really cool, and I'm a fan of the universe, so I bought it. But dude, this movie sucks. Next up is going to be a movie that I don't own an individual copy of, and I don't know if I ever will, because that is how much I dislike this movie. So the only way that I own this movie is in this DVD set, and that is Hellraiser Hellseeker, which is the 6th Hellraiser film. Now, this comes with Hellraisers 3 through Hellworld, so there's a couple solid ones in here. However, Hellseeker is not one of them. Look, not only is Hellseeker super similar to Inferno in like a lot of ways, so like super uninspired, it also made the cardinal sin of bringing back Ashley Lawrence as Kirsty Cotton just to have her basically cameo. It was so undignified. Now, I understand the behind the scenes for why that is that way. And that is because they didn't get a hold of Ashley till the last minute, till the script was already written, so they put her in there at the end. But, dude, I have always loved Kirsty Cotton as a final girl. She deserves way better than what they brought her back for in Hellseeker. But beyond that, not only is it just boilerplate what the last movie was, and it's completely terrible effects and acting and all that stuff. Shout out to my boy Gary Tunnicliffe, because the Cenobites still look really cool, but everything else is just awful. But the camera work is nauseating. This movie tries to play up the fact that it's like this acid trip. Oh, is this real? Is this not? Is this an alternate dimension? When in reality, it just makes you nauseous. Look, the movie sucks. It is super bad. And if you are a Hellraiser fan like I am, it's probably your least favorite. Like, seriously. And if it's not, I mean, more power to you. But that movie sucks. Next up is going to be Phantasm Ravager, the 5th Phantasm film. This set has all 5 films. I recommend getting it if you don't have it. And I think the first 4 in their own ways are all solid to decent. In their own ways. 4, but the first 3. Let's say the first 3. However, Ravager, terrible film. Before I talk about why I hate the movie, I'll just say I respect the hell out of Don Coscarelli for continuing the franchise, for making it known that he wanted to keep it going as long as everyone was alive and willing to do it. And he came back and he did another one on a small budget, and he got Angus Scrimm in there, even though Angus was sick. Like, I'm happy for those reasons alone. Like, it's cool, and I respect you, Don Coscarelli. Having said that, though, if you're going to try to bring this series to a close in the biggest, most bombastic way you can, with like the smallest budget you've had to work with and the least at your disposal, please, for the love of God, don't. It's just sad. Watching the movie is just sad. Watching the actors that you had grown to love throughout these movies, they're older. They don't seem to really be as much into it. Angus can't really do much. It's bad. There's so many terrible computer-generated effects in this movie that it will make you want to scoop your eyeballs out with a rusty spoon. Look, again, credit to the fact that it even exists because it was Don and the original team and everything, but I kind of wish it didn't because Phantasm Ravager sucks. And now to close this video out is the only one that I grabbed off the shelves that is not a horror movie, but I have to talk about it because it's genuinely one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen. And that is Christmas Vacation 2, Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure. Guys, I saw this at Walmart when I was a teenager. You guys know me. I love Christmas Vacation. Love it. I got underwear, socks, sleep pants, a sweater. I love Christmas Vacation. It's my favorite Christmas movie ever. It's the only one I watch multiple times every December. When I saw this in Walmart one day, I was like, what? They made a sequel? Oh my God, it's Randy Quaid. Like, it's got to be good, right? It's at least got some people back. Like, it's got to be good. This movie is god-awful. God-awful. The attempts at humor in it are all childish toilet humor, and not like South Park toilet humor or Family Guy that is actually still funny. No, it is the most excruciating attempts at making the audience laugh, and none of it lands. It is so cheap. It is terribly acted. It does not feel at all an extension from the first movie. At all. It is simply just slapping that title on there so you can try to bring in bucks when these DVDs hit the shelves, and I'm sure they did. And I have not met one person that has been like, you know what, I liked Christmas Vacation too. Someone might say, you know, whatever, I don't hate it. I despise this film. This film may have well made me lose faith in humanity for a time being there. Just garbage. So yeah, guys, those are some of the worst movies I own in my collection. And a lot of them I bought myself with my own money, so look at me, I'm a dumbass. But I want to know what you guys think about some of these movies that I showed. Do you like them? Do you hate them too? Would you like to see me do another installment of this series? Anything and everything down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like, helps the algorithm and helps your boy out. And I appreciate you stopping by. But the show is over, folks. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm pulling out.